All right, so now we're talking back with Johnny Loreti. We're going to talk a little bit about cardio fitness. Not necessarily bad cardio, but appropriate cardio. Johnny?
Sure. Well, I know that you're a big proponent of running, long, slow duration, long, fast duration. But I think that a lot of people, they make the mistake of thinking that if I run on the treadmill for an hour, I'm going to get rid of this extra body fat that I'm trying to lose.
Let's talk about that.
So a lot of people, again, they're doing the long cardio, they're not seeing the results. So one of the reasons for that is that they're not pushing it, like we talk about intensity, hard enough. We're not activating the central nervous system enough. We're not getting all those fat stores to activate and then leave the body. A lot of people should be more encouraged to doing a sort of HIIT type training. And HIIT stands for, HIIT stands for high intensity interval training.
Oh, sure.
So as opposed to doing that hour on the treadmill, we could actually be more effective doing less time, but it's more work. So
explain that a little bit, because we're going to break a lot of hearts out there if you start telling them that if they're running for an hour, they're not doing anything to lose weight. So explain that a little bit.
Sure.
The HIIT.
So HIIT, it's based off a principle of, so a sprinter, for example, when they do a sprint workout, they'll do all out 100% intensity, and then they'll have times where they rest. So something that we could do in the gym, for example, is I prefer the arc trainer when I'm doing HIIT training. If we're talking about doing cardio, I like doing intervals of 1 to 1 or 1 to 2, where I could really go all out, 100% intensity, climbing up a hill, feeling like I'm running in mud, and then it's followed by a period of time where I'm resting, where I'm just coasting. So I'm elevating that heart rate, going 100%, and then I have some time to rest.
Now, what's the ratios you're talking about there?
So we're talking about time ratios. A typical fartlek interval is going to be like a 1 to 2, which is something.
What's that mean, 1 to 2?
So we're talking about 30 seconds would be your 1, and then your 2 would be a minute. Or some people, they could do a minute with the 1, or the 2 would be 2 minutes. Sure. I like doing a good place to start is the 30 seconds and a minute. So most of us could really push it for 30 seconds, and having that minute rest to recover, recuperate, get ready for that next interval is definitely a great place to start. You only have to do that really for 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and that's going to be a lot more effective, and if we're talking about specifically fat loss, than doing an hour of steady state on the treadmill. Now, that's not to say that we should incorporate that kind of training, but if we're training specifically for losing weight, for losing that fat, for toning up, then something closer to a HIIT interval type training is going to be much more effective than those long, slow runs. But those are of course, appropriate and necessary when training the cardiovascular system. So we don't want to ignore that kind of training, but we do want to incorporate some high intensity type cardio.
People don't do it enough. I think that people sometimes, I know that I'll take people to the track and we'll do a 20-minute session of sprints. A lot of times they don't understand why that's valid. Why are we doing this? And that's exactly what we're doing. So the message there is trust your trainer. We do know what the hell we're doing. But is this, now you mentioned the arc trainer, and the other imagery that I got in my head was a treadmill. You can do it on a treadmill.
Absolutely.
What about an erg or a row machine?
And the erg is a great tool to use for HIIT training. You could turn up the intensity, and you could really hit it hard with the erg. Or you basically, there's all these programs in there too where you could incorporate the interval training into the erg, where you have the timer. Basically, you kind of police yourself. Look at the timer for these 30 seconds. I'm going to go all out. I'm going to really push it. Then for the next minute, I'm just going to kind of row. Nice and easy. Definitely, the erg is a great piece of
I use it
machinery.
often. I use it often. I think it is a wonderful thing. And the last question I have about this proper cardio stuff is, so those are the machines. Now, I'm a trail runner. I like being outside. I like being in the outdoors, and a lot of the people that watch this like being outside as well. Is HIIT training something you can incorporate when you're out on the trails?
Of course, it's that the same time interval. When you're out on the trails, if you find a nice stretch of the trail where you could really push it, then incorporate that. Really hit it for like those 30 seconds. In your head, if you're wearing a watch, I'm gonna really go all out for 20, 30 seconds, whatever it may be, whatever is nice and safe with the rocks.
Sure, yeah. Tell me about it.
And then once you're done with that interval, go nice and easy for a minute to 2 minutes, and just do nice bursts of really high intensity followed by nice, slow, and easy. And that kind of training is really going to activate your central nervous system and is really going to help with specific fat loss.
I think that's awesome. See, and that's why I really wanted to bring you on and talk a little bit about that, So, again, there you have it. Those are the answers. Go and do this. And if you can't do this, then you need to go down to TriJake.com and you need to book Johnny or myself, and you need to construct a plan, organize it, and pull it together, because it can be yours. It's your future. It's your results. Own it.